Hi guys, it's Mike here from KS Bushcraft Down Under. Pardon me. Today I thought I'd do a review on the Reactor stove system by MSR. Now, I've been using it for about 5 years and I must admit I've been pretty impressed with it. It's not perfect, but it's very good. Now, the core of the system is the burner. Now, unlike most burners, you cannot see the exposed gas flame. It's contained in this like catalytic type unit. Now, it's a pressure regulated stove, so that unlike little screw-on fellas, you don't notice a noticeable drop in performance once the cylinder's half empty. It's pretty much kicking to the last gasp of the cylinder. Now, unlike the jet boiler, there is no locking ring on it, so it requires the pots to sit on there. And all in all, apart from not having fine simmer controls, it's a great burner. Okay, I'll be a bit more of that later. Okay, so when I originally purchased this, it came with what they claim is the 1.7 litre pot. This is the heat exchanger on the base, so to increase the heat transfer, and it's also a built-in windshield. Now, the true joy of the system is in the real world conditions. You get out there and the wind's blowing a bit and all that, and most of the other stove systems really suffer. So generally I think most people would probably, like I did, buy this. Now, they claim 1.7, in reality there's the 1.5 mark, and at 1.7 you can't even put the lid on, so I'd call it a 1.5. Now, they all come with a little bit of towel. This is to prevent the gas cylinder, which is steel, from damaging the pots and stuff. Now, one of the shortfalls of the system is the way it packs. So on the 1.7, the burner with a cloth goes in first, then the cylinder sits on top of the burner. Now, this isn't an MSR cylinder, but they're all pretty much the same. And then the lid goes on. Well, it won't go on with the dust cap on. Once the dust cap's on, it locks down, and it's a pretty tight fit. Personally, I would prefer it, if it could, which it can't by the way, remain assembled with the valve turned off, mate. And fit in. It almost does it, but it just won't. So every time you have to disconnect the stove, you lose a little bit of gas. More so, like me a second ago, if you had the valve turned off. Anyway, so every time I do this, it's basically gas wasted. It's obviously a safety thought for them. But anyway, a good sized pot, and so using your spoon, regular camping spoon, you can get into the bottom and it works well. Okay, so that is the base system that I think most people buy. Put that out of the way. So going for the ultralight guys, they produce a 1 litre pot. Same base, yeah, well, similar anyway. So, stove, base, not much to that. So when I saw this, I thought, ooh, this would be the equivalent for the jet boiler. Now, it's designed to be used with the 100 gram and 110 gram cylinders. So sure enough, I was actually hoping for a jet boiler type system where I could keep the unit assembled and pop it in, but it don't fit. So this one packs differently again. It requires the cylinder, and you can't put the dust cap on, to go in upside down. The stove then, with the valve aligned with the spout, to go in like that. lid to go on, comes down, there again locks. So a nice compact system for a solo sort of light and fast guy. But, and this is a pretty fair but. One, if you want to pack it like this, you're going to use the small cylinders. Now the 1 litre pot weighs in at 227 grams. The 1.7 is 325, so you're saving 50 grams and losing half a litre of cooking pot. So it doesn't seem to be that good of a deal to me anyway. Okay. Now we'll move up to the big boy of the range. This is the 2.5 litre pot. So here we've got it's on a locking handle, which is what helps keep it closed. Decent lid. Strangely enough, the 1 litre and the 2.5 both have the drain in the lid. Yeah, for drain your water from your pasta and noodles, blah blah blah. Okay. Now it has a different cloth. This one is actually a little pocket, so the stove goes into the pocket. Fairly straightforward. Now a nice sized pot. Now this is a pot that I've used on groups of of 2 and 3, and it's kept up with all the sort of group cooking needs that I need to cook for on occasion. Yeah. So this pot weighs in at 420 grams, so it's 100 grams larger than the 1.7. So for a good sized system, I think it's a winner. Then packing it, of course, cylinder and the stove nest inside easily enough. Without getting too involved in the stove system, I'll just finish off. This time I'll make sure it's off. Right. So the system, using this size cylinder, she's pretty stable. Well, unlike the jet ball, which I had previously, because it used the much smaller cylinders, tended to be a little bit tippy, but the jet ball had a locking ring. Now, this doesn't have a locking ring, but she is pretty rock solid. Yeah. And lighting it can be a bit tricky. If you have the gas cranked up too high, what it'll do this. It will not burn properly. And all it will do is that. Yeah? Which if it does that, you just turn it off and try a lower setting. And when it is going properly, that's the sound it'll make. So all I did then is I just turned the gas supply right down and back up, and that's what it should look like. Okay, and you'll see a cute little MSR symbol appear. So let it flat out. So with a little bit of fiddling around, it's about as low as you can get it, so you can simmer, but it's very fine on the adjustment. But I think you'd say a really good system. I really do. Would like to have seen it being able to be packed attached with the gas cylinder, but obviously for safety reason, you can't. Anyway, I hope you guys found that informative, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.